Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome. Happy Friday if you're practicing on a Friday. I don't know about you guys, but it's been one of those weeks where I was just kind of rushing from one thing to the next. It was a little bit frenzied. And so this morning, as I was doing kind of my morning reading, I found a little something that I'm going to offer. But first, I'd like you to find a comfortable reclined position. So I'm going to stay seated, but I'd like you to come onto your back. And if you have yoga blocks, go ahead and grab your yoga blocks, cushions, bed pillows, anything like that, a rolled up beach towel. I use a folded up blanket so when we come to seated. So I encourage you to have lots of props, lots of ways to support yourself. So if you come onto your back, you can put a little pillow under your head. If lying reclined doesn't serve your back well, try slipping something beneath your knees, like a bed pillow, or if you have a bolster, if you're a regular practitioner of yoga and you have a bolster, slip that under your knees and notice how that helps your low back soften into the earth. So I'm going to give you a moment to get yourself settled. And then just start to drop into the wave of your breath. That's how I always like to start my practice. Sometimes when I come to my mat, it's the first time that I've realized all day, especially if I don't practice in the morning, it's the first time that I've really paid attention to my breath. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, even as a teacher of yoga, I forget that my breath is my constant. It's my presence, it's my healing, it's my grace. And as we breathe today, I'd like you to remember that your inhale is your energetic breath, and your exhale is your surrender breath. So our inhale, what do we want to bring in? What do we want to pull into our mind and into our heart and into our body energetically? And as we exhale, what's not serving us? What are we clinging to or possibly resisting that isn't serving us? Just breathe in and out through your nose and allow this wave of your breath to wash over you. And start to allow yourself to settle into the peace of your physical body. So right here, right now, right where you are. Doesn't matter what you're wearing or what your hair looks like or any of that stuff. Perfect, whole, and complete. Just as you are right now. So this morning I came across this quote from Abraham Hicks. And Abraham is a girl. I love her. I follow her. She's amazing. And she says this: most rarely align with their true power because it seems illogical to them that there is power in relaxation, in letting go, or in love or joy or bliss. So you see, our power lies in our stillness. Our power lies in our joy. Our power lies in those moments when we drop the to-do list, when we're not rushing from one thing to the next, never focusing on what we're doing that's right in front of us, because our mind is always ahead. Our power lies in our peace. So as we breathe tonight in our practice, I want you to think about that. Breathe in your power. And remember that your power is in stillness. It's in relaxation. It's in self-care. One of my favorite sayings is, self-care is not selfish. It serves you and it serves those around you. Makes you happier. Helps you find your bliss. On our next exhale, we're going to hug both knees into our chest. And it doesn't matter where you grip your knees. You can grip the fronts or the backs. Maybe you choose stillness, or maybe you choose a bit of rocking from side to side, acknowledging the length of your spine on the earth. And then set your feet back down and allow the soles of your feet to come together and let your knees fall open. Now this is where cushions beneath the knees or the thighs can be a lovely addition if this is a bit too much on your hips or the muscles that make up the groin. And I'd like you to place one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly. And take a few breaths here, again just connecting with that wave of your breath. Your power lies in your stillness, in your peace. It lies in your bliss. Good. Now let your arms float into cactus arms, or sometimes we call it goalpost arms. So if this doesn't serve your shoulders well, I want the backs of your arms to be firmly supported by the earth. If you find that your forearms are hovering above the earth, straighten them out a little bit. Just want you to broaden the space of your heart. Keep your eyes closed. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe allow your knees to get a little bit heavier. As you exhale and surrender, maybe you allow the back side of the body to drop a bit deeper into the earth. Good. Now keep your legs as they are, but take your arms and give yourself a hug. So just cross the arms over the body and wrap only as tightly as your body allows. Draw your chin softly into your throat. And take a few rounds of breath here, just giving yourself a soft embrace. Now remember which arm is on top And inhale back into cactus arms for a breath. And as you exhale, embrace yourself again, but reverse the cross of your arms. Feel the back side of the body broaden a little bit. The rib cage expands slightly. Good. Now from here, release your arms and reach them long overhead. The backs of the hands resting on the earth above your head. Draw your knees back toward each other and send your heels to the sky. Now, you may need to bend your knees here. That's okay. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And really press up through your heels so you feel your hamstrings stretch out. Feel the backs of those legs open up. And now point and flex your feet. So just a soft stretch for the fronts and the backs of the legs. And then roll your ankles out. So roll the feet around. And then switch directions. Good. Bring the feet back to stillness. Now draw the knees back into the chest and bring your hands to your kneecaps. Start to circle the knees out and away from each other and back in towards the center again. So we're just working to wake up all the joints a little bit. Good. Pause at center. And now make your circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Now the next time your knees come back to center, set your feet on the mat, hip bone distance apart. Bring your arms to your sides. The outsides of the feet are parallel with the outsides of your mat. And we're going to begin our rolling bridge. So if you have a cushion under your head, remove it, please. The back of the head firmly rests on the earth. And we're going to inhale and press our hips up to the sky. And we're going to exhale and lower the hips back down. So ride the wave of your breath here. You may peel your spine up one vertebra at a time, or you may lift up all in one piece. So if you have any spinal issues, it's safer to lift up all in one piece. If you have no spinal issues, it can feel really good to kind of peel up and away one vertebra at a time. And it's as if you're bringing your heart up to meet your chin. Let's roll through a couple more. Good, and as you come back down, one more time, hug your knees to your chest. Anasana, knees to chest pose. And again, you may rock or stay still. And then we're going to rock over to our right side. And very slowly, because we're not in a rush, we're going to press up and around. And we're going to meet in hands and knees. Now from here, we're going to start with just a few rounds of cat-cow. It's one of my favorite ways to begin just waking up our spine a little bit more. So inhale, drop your heart, drop your belly, lift your head, send your tail up, and then start to pull your heart forward. Cow pose. Spread your fingers wide and grip the mat with your hands. And then exhale, roll up through your spine now. Drop your head. Bring your chin to your throat. Scoop that belly up and into the spine. And press down into your hands so you broaden that space between your scapula. And then start to move with your breath. Inhale for your cow. And exhale for your cat. Good. Now you can stay with cat-cow, or we're going to add a little bit for those of us that it serves. So as you pull back through your cow pose, lift your right leg and point your toes to the sky, and then lift your left arm. So lift your heart, lift your eyes, and then exhale, bring your elbow towards your knee. Inhale, lift it back up. And exhale, elbow to knee. Pull that belly up and in. Inhale, lift, sunbird. Exhale, elbow to knee. Good. Now inhale, lift. Pause here. Now, some of us might put the left hand back down. We can stay just like this and lift the right leg up. Or maybe you take your left hand to your low back. Or maybe you catch that foot with your hand and kick the foot into your hand. Lift your heart, lift your eyes, push the foot into the hand. There is power in peace. There is power in stillness. There is power in self-care. Slowly release. Exhale and roll up into a cat. Just stretch it out a little bit. And then again, you can continue with your cat-cow, or we're going to take that left leg up now and lift our right arm, sunbird. So you're lifting your heart and your eyes. Pull the belly up and in. Exhale, round, elbow to knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lift, smile. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more. Inhale, lift it up. Good. Now again, modification. Put the right hand back down and stay just like this. Heart lifted, eyes lifted. Or left hand to low back. Or if the foot is available, catch the foot. Kick it into the hand. Lift your heart. Lift your eyes. Breathe. Beautiful. Exhale. Lower it down. Roll up into cat to stretch it out. Now, sink your hips back towards your heels. Come into child's pose. Stretch your arms nice and long. Let your forehead come to rest to the earth. Take a few breaths here and remember your intention. Remember where your power lies. It's not in your big long to-do list. It's not in your rushing from one thing to the next. It's not in a big fancy job or a big fancy car. Your power lies in your peace. Good. Now we're going to inhale. Come forward to a modified plank. So you may need to shimmy your knees back a little bit. Modified plank, girl push-up position. Now we're going to turn this into a flow. You can stay in your modified plank or let your hips get heavy. Little baby up dog. Roll the shoulders back and push them down from the ears. Pull the belly to the spine to protect the low back. Exhale back to child's pose, but don't move your hands. Inhale, come forward. Maybe you stay in your modified plank, or if it's safe for your back, little baby up dog. Exhale. Pull it back, child's pose. 2 more. Inhale, either modified plank or little baby up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Last one. Inhale, little baby up dog. Now listen for the change. We're going to exhale, tuck our toes, lift our hips, downward facing dog. And as you come into this first down dog, pedal it out. Take your dog for a walk. So shift your hips from side to side. Stretch it out. Do whatever feels good. Now take a moment here and come into what we call turbo dog. So bend your knees a lot and shoot your tail up and back. Your head should be relaxed between your arms. That is how we want our spine in down dog. Now only straighten your legs as much as you can, keeping that length in your spine. Good. Now inhale, shift into full plank. Now if full plank doesn't serve you well, put your knees back down and come into your modified plank that we were in before. So a lot of times in plank, what happens is we forget about our head. We let it drop. The back of the head lines up with the upper back. You tip your hip points towards your bottom ribs. Your power lies in your stillness. Now set your right knee down. Kick your right foot out like it's a little kickstand and roll open. Modified side plank, Vashisthasana. Now you can stay just like this, or you can come into what we call wild thing. Step the left foot back behind the right foot and open up your heart to the sky. Reach through that left arm. Press your hips up. One more deep cycle of breath. Good. Now slowly come back through center. Full plank position for just one breath or modified plank. Good. Now set your left knee down and roll it open. Modified plank. So it might even assist you to see it from the back side since I don't have 2 camera views. So we can stay just like this, or we can step that right foot back behind the left, press the hips up, and open the heart to the sky. Reach through that right arm, or maybe you even take your hand to your heart. Honor yourself just for showing up. Good. Slowly come back through center. One more round of breath in your full plank. Now exhale back to downward facing dog. And then take a walk up to your hands and come into forward fold. So as we come into our forward fold, we're going to bend our knees a lot. Very generous bend to the knees. You might clasp opposite hands to opposite elbows. Let your body drape over your legs like it was a waterfall. And then inhale, take your hands to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. So hands to the shins, press until your arms straighten. Pull your belly to your spine. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. There's a straight line from your crown to your tail. Exhale, spill back over the legs. And now inhale, reverse swan all the way up. At the top, Urdhva Hastasana, open your hands, lift your heart, lift your eyes. Take a moment of gratitude for this day, this breath, this life. And then exhale and bring your hands into your heart. Good. Pausing in our mountain pose. I have my selenite crystal that my beautiful friend Linda gave me. Pausing in our mountain pose, hands at the heart, feet are hip distance apart. We're lifting the kneecaps so that we feel the muscles of our thighs engage. Lengthen your tail towards the earth. Roll your shoulders up and back, down the back one time. And then extend down through your hands. Good. Now we're just going to move through a little flow tonight. So, I'm going to step back to the front of my side mat so that I can make sure you can see me, or I'm trying to. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Now exhale, step back with your left foot for a high lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Now if sweeping your arms up doesn't serve you well, that's okay. Take your hands to your heart or to your hips, wherever it serves you. Your front knee should be right over your ankle. Draw that left hip forward. Pull your belly to your spine. Take one more round of breath. Now exhale, drop your back heel down and in. Warrior two. So look down. Your front heel should line up with the arch of your back foot, and your back heel should be slid out slightly. The shoulders line up right over the hips. And again, if lifting the arms doesn't serve you, bring your hands to your heart. Gaze over the middle finger of your front hand. Now inhale, reverse your warrior. Sweep up and back. Right arm reaches up and back, and that front knee stays right over the ankle, and we encourage it towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Your peace lies in your stillness. Your peace lies in showing up for yourself. Inhale back to warrior two. Now straighten your front leg. Sassy hip back. And exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the right hand comes to the right thigh or the right shin, or maybe to a yoga block. So the thing about triangle is people always want to come and bring that right hand to the floor, and then they end up a little bit wonky. The main point of triangle pose is to roll the heart open. So think about scooping the left side ribs under as you roll, the right side ribs under as you roll the left side ribs open. Good. Take one more breath. Now inhale, come back to warrior two. On your next exhale, we're going to come into extended side angle. So take your right forearm to your right thigh and sweep the left arm up and over. So your bicep lines up with your left ear. Now if that doesn't serve your arm, tuck it behind your back. Front knee is still right over the ankle. So we're working that front thigh a little bit. It's heating up. Now from here, we're going to drop the left hand to the mat. And we're going to use it to assist us to bring our right hand to the earth and come into balancing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. This is where a yoga block can come in very handy. You would bring it in line with the pinky toe of the right foot. Start by just rolling the hips open. So that left hip stacks on top of the right. Maybe you bring your left hand to your left hip. And then maybe you extend your left arm to the sky. Your left leg here is super active. You're pressing straight back through your heel. Now on an inhale, bend your right knee and drop back to warrior two. Doesn't matter how you land. Good. Straighten your front leg. Turn your right toes in. Relax your arms. Look down at your feet. You want your big toes to be in a straight line here. And you can be either sides of the feet parallel with the short ends of your mat, so you're facing the long edge of your mat, or a little bit pigeon-toed is what I prefer for wide-legged forward fold. So shift back from your hip hinge and drop forward. Hands can come to the earth or to the shins or the thighs. And as you spill in, find that surrender on your exhale. Our power lies in our stillness, in our relaxation. Our power lies in our self-care. Good. Now start to bend your left knee. We're going to come into one of my favorite poses, Skandasana. So some of us might stay right here. The right leg's going to straighten. Now you might stay right here, more like a runner's lunge. Hands can be on the earth or on blocks. Now, if you want to come all the way into the pose, you're going to ground the right heel and point the right toes straight up to the sky. Deeper flexion in this left knee. And then if balance allows, we bring hands into the heart. So you're balancing on your left toes and your right heel. Pull your belly to your spine. Your core will help you balance. And find one spot for your eyes to gaze at. Good. Now, as carefully as possible, slide back to warrior two. Yes, you can. Exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way down and lift your back heel. And on an inhale, step to plank. Now maybe you take a little break and rest in child's pose. Or maybe you take a vinyasa, exhaling halfway or all the way down. Inhaling and lifting your heart, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhaling and pressing up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Good. Now look up between your hands and step, jump, or walk to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Bend the knees a lot and inhale, reverse swan all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Tadasana, mountain pose. Notice how your body feels after just a little bit of breath, a little bit of work, movement and stillness combined. Self-care is not selfish. Good. Now we're going to do that same sequence of poses on the other side. I'm always paranoid that it's not recording. It is good. We're going to do that same sequence of poses on the other side. So inhale, sweep your arms out and up. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift. And then exhale, step your right foot back for a high lunge. And inhale to sweep your arm up. Good. Now remember, if arms up doesn't serve your shoulders well, or if your arms are getting tired, cool. Just bring your hands to your heart. Front knee is right over the ankle. Back leg is strong. Right hip draws forward. Think about tipping your hip points up towards your bottom ribs. Now on an exhale, drop that back heel down and in and open up into Warrior Two. So look down at your feet. Even after all these years, I still usually need to adjust a little bit. Front heel lines up with the arch of the back foot, and that back heel slides back a bit. And it's like we're wearing suspenders. Our shoulders are right over our hips. So we have a straight line there. Gaze over the middle finger of your front hand. Breathe into your intention and breathe out what doesn't serve that intention. Good. Now flip your front palm, and just like you were going to paint the sky, sweep your fingers up and back, reverse your warrior. So this is a side opening pose. Open up that left side. Good. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Let's give that front thigh a break and straighten the front leg. Lift your kneecaps, so two strong legs, just like mountain pose. Sassy hip back, reach the left arm forward, and then tilt. Trikonasana, triangle pose. And again, remember, it's not about touching the earth. Roll the left side ribs under, roll the right side ribs open. If you need to tuck that top arm, just tuck it behind your back. Your gaze can be wherever it's comfortable for your neck. Just no hanging heads. Head and neck stay in line with the spine. Beautiful. Now inhale, come back to your Warrior Two. Exhale, extended side angle. So now bend that front arm, bring the forearm to your thigh, and sweep that right arm so that the bicep lines up with the right ear, or we tuck the back arm. If you're a regular practitioner and you have a full bind, feel free to fully bind. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it because I'm not doing that today. Encourage that front knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Good. Now start to take your right hand down for support. And we're going to come into that balancing half moon. So lift your right leg up, and maybe both of your hands stay down today. That's absolutely fine. Start to roll the right hip open. The more energized your right leg is, the easier it's going to be. So flex the ankle, press through the heel like you were pushing a wall away back there. And then maybe your right hand comes to your right hip. Maybe you extend your right arm to the sky. Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon. If you really want to challenge your balance, you can gaze up at that top hand. My balance isn't the best these days, and that's perfectly fine. so I usually look down. Now inhale, rebend the front knee, and just drop back into your warrior two. And it doesn't matter how you get there or if you fall, that's okay. Straighten your front leg, relax your arms. Turn your left toes in. Now again, we're facing the long edge of our mat. We're going to get ready for that wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So hands on the hips, push those hip points back and surrender into your fold. Beautiful, stretching out those hamstrings. When the mind drifts, just bring it back to that intention. Bring it back to where your power lies. Now start to bend your right knee as you keep your left leg straight. And you might stay right here in more of a runner's lunge, or you might ground that left heel, point the left toe straight up to the sky. Balance on the right toes. Coming into Skandasana, one of my favorite poses. You can also have a block under your right knee here, or blocks under your hands if you're practicing the balance part. Take one more deep breath. Now, with all of your strength and might, shift back to warrior two. Beautiful. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way to the earth. Lift your back heel. And on an inhale, step to a plank. Remember, it can be modified or full. Maybe we take child's pose, or we exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. And we inhale to lift up our hearts. Cobra or up dog. We exhale to press up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. Now from here, take a couple of deep breaths. And then lower your knees to the earth, hip bone distance apart, and rise up onto your knees. So if you need a little cushion under your knees here, we always want to be very nice to our knees. So if you need a cushion, please grab one and put it under your knees, like a folded up blanket works perfectly. And then clasp your hands behind your back, a little modified camel pose, Ustrasana. So lift your heart. Draw your shoulders back. Press your hips forward. Take a few deep breaths across the space of your heart. Good. Now bring your hands back into your heart as you draw yourself back to center. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, press your palms away from you and round your spine a bit like cat. So now lean your hips back a little bit. Drop your chin to your chest. Good. Come back to center. Relax your arms to your sides. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me. Extend your right leg out to the right and keep it in line with your hip. Flatten your right foot to the earth and the toes point forward as much as possible. Gate pose. Slide the right hand down the right leg and inhale the left arm up and over. And again, gaze can be wherever we want it, just no hanging heads. That right leg is really strong. Kneecap is lifted. Inhale, reach up through your top hand. Exhale to float the arm down. Tuck the right knee back in. And now extend your left leg out to the left. Keep it in line with the hip. Point the left toes forward. Slide the left hand down the left leg. And inhale your right arm up and over. And again, gaze where it's best for your neck. Just no hanging heads. Our power lies in our bliss, in our relaxation, in our moments of stillness. Inhale, reach up through your top hand. Exhale, float the arm down. Tuck the left knee back in. Make your way onto your back. Have anything near you that you like to have next to you for Shavasana. So if you want cushions, blankets, anything of that sort, have it next to you. We're just going to end with a twist before we take our final relaxation. So bent knees, arms out into a T. We're going to shift our hips slightly to the left, and we're going to let our knees drop over to the right. So if this creates too much tension in your low back, try slipping something underneath that right leg. So it can be a yoga block, a blanket, a pillow, whatever works best for you. And then if it serves your neck well, you can turn to gaze towards your left hand. I even like to cross my left leg over my right, but that is an option or an offering, never a have to. Feel the expansion in your belly and your ribs. On your next exhale, draw your knees back through center. Shift your hips back to square. And if you're using some support for your twist, bring it on over to your left side. Shift your hips slightly to the right. And again, I like to cross my right leg over my left, but that's not a have to. That's just a little deeper variation. And we're going to let those knees fall to the left. Gaze may fall to the right hand. If that's not comfortable for your neck, just let your gaze fall towards the sky. Close your eyes. Breathe deep, like you're wringing out your whole self. You're wringing out your belly, your spine, your spirit, your heart, your mind. One more deep breath here. Exhale, slowly come back through center. Shift your hips back to square. And now make your way into Shavasana, final relaxation. Whatever that looks like for you. So Shavasana means corpse pose. So we lie very still. Remember, our power lies in our relaxation. This is the most important pose of our whole practice. And it's often the hardest for people because there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. You just get to be. Become part of the wave of your breath as it washes in and over you, all the way through you. Start to feel a softening. Feel a weight. Feel the back of your head heavy on the earth. Soften your face. Relax your forehead. Relax your temples and your jaw. Take a great big deep breath and let it draw all the way down the length of your spine. Feel your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back drop deeper into the earth. Relax the sides of your neck and let that relaxation slide across your shoulders, down your arms, and into your hands. Your power lies in your stillness. Soften through the space of your throat, where we hold energetically the ability to speak kind words. Relax and soften through the space of your heart. This energetically is where we hold the ability to give and receive love. Take a deep breath into the space of your belly. Let it fill with your power, your stillness, your self-care, your grace. And with your exhale, just let everything else go. Relax through your thighs. Soften your knees. Feel the weight of your shins and your calves. Relax through your ankles, your feet, your toes, your power lies within you, in your stillness, right now. Most rarely align with their true power because it seems illogical to them that there is power in relaxation, in letting go, or in love, or in joy, or in bliss. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Feel yourself filled with this power of relaxation. And then bend your knees. Slowly rock onto your right side. Take a breath there. You're not in a hurry. And then very slowly press your way up to a comfortable seated position. As we inhale, let's sweep our arms out and up. Gather up your power between your hands, don't forget it. And exhale and pull it down into your heart. It's right there inside of you, all the time. It's in your breath. The divine light that shines within me honors and acknowledges that same exact divine light that shines within each one of you. And it is that light, my friends, that connects us all. I thank you all so very much for allowing me to be a part of your practice. I hope you have a beautiful evening or morning or afternoon or whenever you happen to be practicing. From my soul to each of yours, namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again, stay well, stay healthy, stay with your power.